Happy Motivational Monday, everybody. And I'm so excited to be back with you. Today, we're talking about a very important subject that I'm sure that many have had a problem with, or maybe it's just me. We're talking about anger. Have any of you ever been so angry that you see red? I can raise my hand. Yes. And so today we're going to unpack where anger comes from and why people can push our buttons and all of those kinds of things. Let me start off with just a little story about myself. I was one day talking to my sister girlfriend, and we were just chit-chatting back and forth and having a great old time, and I was telling her something that was juicy and that was, oh my, and she was going back and forth, what, and then she says, girl, shut up. Honey, I went into a whole tailspin. I began to say, look, you can tell me to hush, you can tell me to be quiet, but you don't tell me to shut up. Oh, I started with the whole neck roll and everything. And thank God she was a good friend of mine and a counselor. And so she says, honey, you're going to need help for that, because I was saying shut up and like, what? Can't believe it, all of that. And you went all the way live. And what could I do? I had to agree with her. But what it made me do also is to go back and understand, why did that make me so angry? And if it had been somebody that I didn't know well, I could have lost a good relationship with this person. And as I thought back, of course, the word shut up can be very demeaning and very get us very out of sorts. But everything that we get angry with comes from a place, and it's not just that particular act that starts it. It started a long time ago. And so as I went back in my mind, I do remember as a kid, I was a talker. I know you can't believe that, right? But I've always been a great talker. And she would say, shut up, Renee. Oh my goodness, just shut up, shut up. And it made me so angry. And what I began to understand was, even though the word shut up, now we don't tell children shut up, that's considered very rude, which I understand. But at that time, it was acceptable, or at least in my family, it was. And so, but what I began to understand was, it wasn't the word shut up or her telling me just shut up, but I felt disrespected, and like what I said didn't matter. And so I took the word shut up as a personal assault. So anytime I heard that word, it just angered me. Even on television or anywhere else, I took it personal. And what I had to come to know was that word triggered something in me. It wasn't my friend that said it. It wasn't this and this. So I had to take that time and go back and understand, why was I so angry? Because it did come from a place. And so let's break down why we do get angry. And one of the major reasons that we get angry is because we have certain expectations of people, and they don't meet our expectations. And it makes us angry. The interesting part about that is, sometimes the person doesn't even know that you have those expectations of them. We just feel like they should know. I hear people in relationships, well, he should know not to say that, or she should know not to do that. And we have those expectations, so we get angry about it. But we have to remember that in order to get upset, I'll use, about an expectation, is the person has to know what the expectation is and have had to agree that on that expectation, they would have to say, yes, I understand that you want the trash taken out every day, and I can do that. And that is not a problem for me. Okay, so then you have a right then, when they don't live up to that expectation, to call them on it. Maybe not to get so angry until we see red, but we can call them on the expectation. Also, another reason that we can have anger issues is, as I said, it comes from a place. We have to go back and see, because where the anger started. If it started as a child, a lot of times it's because we felt like we didn't have control over a certain situation, that our mom married somebody that we didn't like, or we told her that we were bullied and nobody did anything about it, or whatever the case may be. And so we can go forward, moving forward, or fast forward, pardon me, is then when you see these certain behaviors take place, you feel angry because that person did something and said something in a way, or this, that, and the other, that made you angry, and they may not even know that that's a pressure point for you. Is I know for me, if somebody tells me they're going to do something, then I expect for them to do it, unless they come back and say to me that I can't. But if they tell me that they're going to do it, then I have that expectation. And I realize that that came from a place, as I said, is lots of times, as parents can do, will do, they say, oh yes, next week on Wednesday, we're going to take you out to pizza. Next week, Wednesday, yes. Truth may be they had a car accident, something happened major, whatever the case may be, they had to work late, whatever the case may be. And they were not able to take me to pizza on that Wednesday. But for me as a child, I don't care that you had all of these other things going on. You didn't even remember that you promised that you were going to take me to pizza on Wednesday. So when people tell me something, then I'm not going to believe them, or I put my trust in them this time, and then I'm angry because they didn't do it and I had to remind them, and all of those things. So that anger a lot of times can come out of things that we were disappointed about before, or things that we had issue with. Then sometimes we get angry out of an expectation that could actually be unreasonable. I can use myself as an example again. Excuse me, and I may have mentioned this before, and if I did, just pardon me, but it's a good example. Is I like my dishes done a certain way in the dishwasher, okay? Don't know who else has that issue. But I like them stacked this way and this, that, and the other. And people come over and they have dinner, and they're just being kind, and they can say, oh, honey, we can help you clean up the kitchen. And I'm like, okay, good. And then whenever they stack the dishes wrong, I am seeing red. I am just like, no, that's not how you stack dishes. And oh my goodness, that's not how you put them in the dishwasher. And the person is looking at me like, yeah, pretty much you're crazy, you know? And so what ends up happening is I'm having an attitude because they're not willing to take all the dishes out and do them right. And they're saying, well, we ain't gonna help you do the dishes anymore, all of that. That was my issue. And so I should not even put it on another person, because in the long run of things, the earth is not going to stop moving, and life is not going to change as we know it because of how we put dishes in the dishwasher. And so I had to come to understand that, and not feel like they're just pushing my buttons and they're just not doing it right and doing it proper. No, that is my own issue. And so now I say, yes, you can help me clean up the kitchen. You can just stack all the dishes right there, and I can put them in the dishwasher. And it's great. And nobody's angry. Nobody's upset. Nobody is calling me that crazy little lady with the dishes issue, whatever the case may be. So we have to come to understand why we have the anger, where it comes from. It's a reasonable expectation. And then if you find that it is, then how to deal with the anger. And one of the best ways to deal with anger is not when you're angry, because when you're angry, you will begin to say lots of different things that you don't mean. I have heard couples, they start out, I ask you to pick your socks up off of the floor, all the way to the next thing they're talking all about. I never how liked how your mom make cornbread, whatever the case may be. And then you don't talk about my mama, your mama wears mixed match socks, and it turns into a whole thing that it never had to be or should have been, because we allow then the anger to rule us. And so if you can remember, most 99% of our anger issues do not have to be dealt with right now. I say that everything is not a 911 situation where I have to respond right then and I have to say it then and this and this. Okay. And so what is a good thing is to step back from the situation, and assess it. Was that really a valid reason for me to get angry? Why was I angry with that? Was there something else, totally else, that was going on that I brought into this situation? And then how should I deal with it? And so it's very good if you write out, if you sort of journal, what made me angry? Where did this actually come from? Is this person intentional about putting whatever situation that caused the anger on me? And then how do I need to address it in a most proper and productive kind of way? And it's really good if you let the person know, I'm upset by this and I need time to think about it. Do you mind thinking about the situation as well? Maybe on next Tuesday, we get together and we talk about it. That gives you time to think, and that gives me time to think. And by that next Tuesday or before, you may be like, that wasn't even valid. And I can go back and I just say, you know what? I was just having a bad day, or whatever the case may be. And I'm so sorry. Or yes, this is something that we need to talk about. But now I can talk about it in an appropriate way and actually get resolution from it. And so, if at all possible, lots of times people who have had anger issues, it is very hard to stop ourselves in the middle of the anger episode. It's like we're on 100 and we've got to get all the way to 199 before we can take a breath and be like, oh, okay, I can think now. But if at all possible, try and stop yourself somewhere in between. Practice that and say, okay, I need to step back from it, see if it's valid and what needs to be done about it. Some anger that you have, you can't resolve that way. You may realize that this is anger from way back when. So it's good if you have a sounding board for those kind of anger issues. What do I mean by a sounding board? Somebody who can be the sit-in or stand-in for the person that you need to deal with the anger. And so you may have a friend or a counselor or a pastor or whoever, or even if you can't have any of that, a good chair in a quiet room where you can actually talk through that, get angry, whatever you need to do, let out those frustrations to that person or to the chair, whatever the case may be. And then they can give you proper feedback, or you may not need any feedback. You may just need cleansing from that situation. Sometimes I have known, and I feel like it's great, is if the person has passed, it may be good, if you can, to go to that gravesite and you have read out those things that have made me angry and that I've been holding on to, and whatever the case may be. And then you can let that go, which we'll be talking about next week. But with the anger, understand where it's coming from. And I will not allow this anger to control me and to ruin my day. If I get to 200 and I can't stop myself, then what I will do is I will reset. I will go somewhere, get peace, get quiet, reset, ask forgiveness for whomever I need to. I'm sorry I cussed at you or fussed at you or whatever, but I will come back later and we can work through it and get it straight. And do not allow it to ruin your whole day. And understanding the last thing is lots of anger is about not feeling like you have control over the situation. Especially if you were younger, you had to take whatever the person did or said to you or whatever. But as an adult, you can have control, and it doesn't have to be by who has yelled the loudest and who has said the most insulting things, or who has done the most road rage, or whatever those things are that we do to try to get control of ourselves. But we can control this situation by saying, I can control it. And how I'm going to control it is I'm going to step back and I'm going to think it through. And then I'm going to see what my next steps are going to be. I hope that this session has helped you in any kind of a way. And if it has, and you have other questions or comments or anything, you can reach me at unitedforlife54@gmail.com. That's UNITEDFOR 54 @gmail. Now, let me give you a little preview about next week. Next week, we're going to be talking about forgiveness. That's that next step. Now, what you may not have realized or didn't even realize that I was doing these videos is this month we've been talking about purpose, perfection, anger, and then we're going to be talking about forgiveness. And on next week, I'm going to be tying all of those together because they really are a continuum. So if you haven't gotten a chance to watch the others for the month, you may want to go back and watch those so that when we start talking about forgiveness, you can see how all of those things connect. It has been so great talking with you all, and I just appreciate you all allowing me to come into your homes or wherever it is you may be listening. Until next Motivational Monday, y'all be good.